The 10A Boxing Podcast. Whoa! 10A Podcast, and we are back. Hold on. So do I hear everything correct right now? Let me just make sure. Oh! My bad, y'all. Took a little break, but we are back. I'm gonna be rocking this whole week. But let me introduce my special co-host today, one of my favorite people to talk to in boxing. You know what I mean? Looks like he's drinking a beer this morning. My main man, let me give you the intro. The Ryan Garcia of blogging, boxing talk.
That's racist. Okay.
No, it's because you're handsome. That's why. You know, you're
Okay.
handsome.
Okay, I'll take it. I
You know
thought because we were both white-ish, but he's not
you got
white.
a mean left hook. You got a mean left hook, you know?
I do.
So.
That's true. Appreciate it.
My man Marco, what's good, brother?
If I saw, yo, I got up this morning, took care of the kids, whatever.
How many
got on my
kids you
phone.
got?
What's that?
How many kids you got?
2. Boy and girl. And,
nice.
You know, took them to school, did what I got to do. Get on my phone, and I'm seeing John Fury headbutting dudes.
Yo, I just seen that. What the hell was that?
John Fury is a headbutting dude. And the dude he headbutted, by the way, looked like a child.
No.
Like, this kid couldn't have been over 24 tops.
What happened?
They were getting amped up. And, you know, I guess he just wanted to show that it wasn't just for show. I don't know what. It was weird because he just went up to him and headbutted him, which made me feel like, why does he headbutt the smallest dude there?
Dude, he hit him. He hit him. It didn't
And
look like he
John Fury's shit is all busted. Blood's dripping down his face. That's why I've never been into that, you know, going. You remember back in the day when you shoulder to shoulder, you're like, yo, what's up? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
I never did that because somebody like could headbutt you.
I just watched. Did you see Tyson Fury's reaction? He comes out, he's hyping, he's like,
no, I didn't see Tyson Fury's reaction at all. Tyson wasn't even a part of that when I saw it.
No,
he wasn't anywhere to be found.
Look at the video. It's on
Send it to me. Text it to me, please.
Hold on, let me send it to you now. Look at the video. I'm watching it right now, and I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? Hold up. So I guess he runs into him. He headbutts him. I just sent it to you right now. And whatever. And then Tyson Fury comes on. He's like, yeah. And then he's like, you see him? He's like, what the fuck happened to your head? Like, he's looking at him. He's like, what the hell happened? Like, what's wrong with you? Look at it right now.
You texted it to me, or what'd you do?
I sent it to you on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Okay.
This is gonna be this year of boxing has been amazing to me.
Oh man, I was just listening to the group home, and that's such a dope track. Okay, how do I get out of this?
Did you get it?
I'm trying to get out of this.
Why are you? I'm not gonna lie. These press conferences are getting crazier and crazier.
These what? Oh, yeah, right here. Here we go.
Like these press conferences, these things right before the fight. Watch.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, and then right after you're gonna see him come out. Watch.
His father's out of control, man.
Yo, he's nuts. Furies are nuts. I love the Furies. I'm not gonna lie. They're great for boxing. He's like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck? Like, that's so hilarious.
That's funny. That's funny. No, that is
like, yeah. And then he's like, the fuck happened?
But this can't be surprising. I'm sure he grew up seeing this all the time with his father.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I feel like everybody's in competition right now with the Ryan Garcias, the Rolly Romeros to amp up fights. I feel like boxers are taking the initiative at this point.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
It's too much. Like Ryan posted that shit about some girl that Devin was harassing some girl, and I'm like, yo, you guys already fought. What are you doing this for? You're not promoting the fight. Now you're just trying to.
Yeah, that's it's over. It's over. I mean, now quote unquote, apparently he's open to doing the second fight. That's what he's saying. But
that's what he's saying. But Devin's not.
I don't think Devin wants that smoke. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Devin.
And I'm not saying Devin's scared or whatever. I just don't think Devin wants to fight him.
I mean, you know what I mean? He got beat pretty brutal, man. Listen, the results come back May 22nd. We all know what's gonna come back.
Let me ask you a question. Why is your name Street Star Bozo? What the hell does that mean?
Oh, so I was in the midst of a lawsuit, right?
A lawsuit.
And somebody referred to me as a bozo. So I just adopted the name. I thought it was hilarious. I never changed it. I got to change it. I am
Why were you in a lawsuit?
We'll talk about that off of the camera.
Okay, that's the hip hop days. Your hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
Do you still have that platform?
No. I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
Because I know it was you created one of the biggest platforms.
Yeah,
right?
it was one of the biggest in the world. I'm proud of
Is
all
it
the
still
work
there and you just sold it, or it's just no?
Oh no, it's there. You know, I just we severed ties and we dealt with the business and that's it. We moved on from there.
Okay. And wow, you transitioned over to this space. That's a big.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's fun for me, man. Listen, I love boxing.
The one thing that sucks about boxing, I'll say, it's a niche. Like in your hip hop stuff, you probably had the potential to go way bigger. Here, you know what I'm saying?
So battle rap. It was battle rap. It was it's very similar to boxing. So it's not much of a transition in regards to what people are looking for in content. There's a lot of quote unquote blogger experts that some of them are hilarious. And now boxers, and I met a lot of boxers because a lot of them are fans. They're acting very similar to those antics that you see. It's kind of a mix of wrestling and battle rap, and it's really really funny. Like you just seen the headbutt, hilarious. The exposing of the girlfriends. I banged your wife, and you see what Brian Garcia said with Cambosis. A lot of that stuff is very similar. So in that aspect, it's not much of a transition. It's just transitioning to the boxing fans because you have a lot of purists as well as and we're trying to get more new people in. So you're right, it is a niche. Exactly,
it is. I mean, trust me, but what motivates me is some of these bigger channels that I'm on, like the Boxing Voice and Blue Blood and these guys, they do really well. So it made me see like, oh, there's a possibility where like if I even reach half of what they're doing, I'll be happy.
I honestly I like your stuff. I think you're going to surpass them. It's just about, and I could show you some other things in regards to helping your channel. Like I just got to get consistent. I got 4 kids and a newborn, which is really difficult. But
you got a newborn?
I got a newborn. I got 4.
Wait, so you got 5 kids in?
4. So I got 5-year-old, 4-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 2-month-old. So that's why sometimes I'm like, yo, dude.
Yo, man.
Yeah, dude.
Your pullout game is awful.
Super. So it's really difficult. So now me and my wife, she's helping me out a lot more to get consistent, and I'm going to be going to the fights and stuff like that. But
and you're in what? You're in Florida?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta, and right, okay, and by way of Bensonhurst, right?
Yes, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Park Slope. But I love it. I've been following boxing my whole life, and I was like, you know what? There's something I like to talk about. I'm not tripping about the bread. I'm going to grow the platform slowly but shortly, and then just
now the bread is like for me. I'm certified viral on Instagram, right? I'm getting millions, but they don't pay. And
Instagram.
They don't pay. Well, they used to, but what they did this month, they're actually paying. They called it spring bonus. They're paying me this month, but the amount of money they're paying me for the amount of views I'm getting is like insanely low.
I mean, you gotta really love it.
I've reached something like 8 million accounts over the past 30 days, something like that. And I mean, I'm not even getting $1,000, not even close. Isn't that insane?
Absolutely. But you know what, Marco? It's about who you know in transitioning. Like I've already been in situations where like networks have approached me, and because of my relationships and what I've done. So it's really about you.
Yeah, I've had some people approach me too. Of course. No, I agree with you. It opens doors. Nothing's happening yet, but I've had a few big names approach me as well. So something will happen. That's true. But
the one thing about boxing too is, and this is just being honest, the transition to the Amazons and the Netflixes and those type of individuals is going to open doors because their content is based on the internet, right? So they're about a digital imprint. So what's going to end up happening is they're going to start reaching out to the bigger bloggers and offer them situations because of the digital numbers. So you're definitely going to get a call. The only thing that sucks is a lot of boxers are just opening podcasts. So it's just kind of weird. So it's kind of like the NFL. With the NFL, a lot of former players are taking the commentators' jobs is kind of similar in that aspect. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing. And honestly, you're better than most. I'm going to be honest. I really enjoy your stuff.
Thanks.
And it's just about consistency, man. Like I said, like I'm not rushing. Like I told people, like I want to get to a point where, yes, I've been following the sport for a long time, but also I have to get better in certain things. I have to understand certain things. I have to learn a lot more. Like your history is insane the way you know certain stuff.
Thanks.
I will watch Ness talk about certain promoters and certain. I don't know a lot of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Really care.
Like Ness is real big on current. He knows a lot of the current stuff. He knows all the upcoming fighters. Like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really focus that much on upcoming fighters. One thing I don't focus on a lot at all purposely is the promote that stuff, the money, the networks. I just don't care. But you get a lot of people like, well, how's he going to cross the street and go to PBC if he's already signed a contract? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I know one thing. I know that all these guys can fight. It's not impossible. I don't care what network you're with, who you're with, Al Heyman. They could fight.
No, yes and no, but there's a lot of politics when it comes to that. And
but you could still make it all happen. But I don't get involved in that.
I think people, but you know what? Yeah, and I'm with you on that. But I think people mess it up. I mean, people are doing things different. That's why I think when you see like guys taking it more to the internet and speaking is because they want to catch lightning in a bottle. They want to be able to force whoever they sign with is to push them, right? It's kind of like the labels. If you're not hot, why are they going to push you? And I feel like that's worked for Rolly Romero. It's kind of worked against Shakur Stevenson in a sense. That's why now he's beefing with Bob Arum. He just dissed Bob Arum. I don't know if you see that. Well, he's talking about Bob Arum doesn't make the decisions anymore. He's just there about I'm like, it's probably true, but you don't really have to say that. And he's trying to learn from the Bud Crawford mistakes in a sense, but he didn't get all these fights because he was a top rank for all those years, and now he's chasing Canelo. So I kind of get what some of these guys are doing, and they do have to put their careers at first. And I think Shakur Stevenson is a prime example because he is screaming for a big fight. He's begging for it, and he can't get it.
Now, man, we got Loma. It's funny how overnight Loma goes from not even being in the conversation to like he has to be next for either Tank or Shakur.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and that's why I wanted to start off the show I started off the title with Gervonta wants smoke with Loma. I'm gonna say this. I'm happy for.
I just interviewed. I don't know if you saw it. I interviewed Kenny Ellis, which is one of.
Oh no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, last night I interviewed him, so it's on YouTube now.
I'll check it out. And what happened with him?
We were just talking about what he thought about the Loma fight. About him Tank fighting him next. He said that from what he saw, Tank would knock Loma out quick. That's what he said. So he saw some holes in the chinks in the armor.
I'll say this. I don't see, and this is what I believe. And I think Loma's, first of all, I think Loma looked amazing. But also Loma knew that Kambosos couldn't hurt him. So he could fight him a certain way. And that's just my opinion. I will say this. Loma will fight Gervonta differently. It's not going to be a situation where he's not going to avoid the power. And the one thing that Loma did really well, he was very active, very accurate, and was in and out. But he took more chances because he didn't believe Kambosos could hurt him. I believe, and this is what I believe in that fight, I feel like the one thing I did notice was Loma's size. Like he's just not a big guy. He really isn't a big guy.
No, he's barely. He could fight at 30. I think he's naturally a 30-pounder.
100%.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say about him fighting Gervonta, and this is just me mentally breaking it down, is Gervonta has to be a little more active in some of these fights. Like he can't sit there and wait for the big shot versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko just keep taking rounds and rounds. He's just that good. Gervonta would have to be more active. Now, does Gervonta believe Loma could hurt him? I don't know. Loma looked good. He put him out with a body shot. He pretty much made Kambosos look like what's Kambosos doing that. The way he dominated him, in my opinion, is something that Devin didn't do. And remember, I think Devin beat him like that, but not the way like he made him look crazy. Even Teofimo lost to him, and these are notable guys, right? he looked younger. He looked smart. So I think his cerebral is a lot of things he can do now. In terms of knocking him out quick, he doesn't fight Kambosos the same way. He just doesn't. I don't agree with Kenny Atlas in that aspect. And I feel like sometimes Gervonta just sits on the big shot. And I feel like he has to be more active. You can't sit there. Loma's too good to give away rounds to. So I think it's a great fight, man. I definitely am looking to see. And listen, I got to give one of these to Gervonta. Whoop, my fault, not that one. Because finally, we're going to see him fight some of these guys. And listen, if he beats Lomachenko, I take my hat off to him. Lomachenko is phenomenal. Like, I mean, what did you think about the fight?
We don't know who he's fighting.
I think he's going to fight. I think he will. What do you think? I mean, I believe he's going to fight Ryan before that, but it all depends on Ryan's suspension because Ryan will get suspended. But what do you think about his performance?
Woo! Which performance?
Lomachenko and Kambosos.
I mean, what you always get from Loma, you get angles. His footwork is. He has faster feet than Shakur.
Yeah.
Which is so rare, right? Shakur is very quick getting in, getting out, hopping in like a Energizer bunny. Boom, 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 boom. Loma not only does that, but he also goes around you. Boom, 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 boom. He goes all around you, very quick with his feet. His very fast, snappy punches too.
It kind of reminds me of how Manny would hit you from angles. Like, it was weird.
It's very similar. And what he does, if you noticed, he gets dudes. The hardest punch is a punch that's thrown down. Okay. When you're throwing in a downward trajectory, down, you generate way more leverage.
Okay.
And Loma throws all his punches down because he moves and he gets dudes while they're ducking down. And as they're ducking down, now they're lower and he could aim down. And that makes his punches a little harder. He's a very fast and snappy puncher.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, a lot of his punches, the same thing Pacquiao did. So you're taught to throw a left hook this way, right? But Pacquiao throws it this way. So it's side, and he aims it. He doesn't aim what with this parallel, I guess?
Yeah.
He aims down. So he turns over his fist and he aims down.
That's interesting.
Down. And that's what Loma does a lot of times. And those punches create more power significantly. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why Klitschko and Deontay Wilder knock people out. They were punching down at everybody because they're so much taller.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference.
That's crazy because he's not a big guy. He's not a tall fighter either. He's not big at all.
If you look at Bud, a lot of Bud's punches down. This is a big thing. People don't realize this. Punching down and short. Bud is the master at short punches.
Short punches, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the leverage he gets in the punches and the way, everything he does. He's and that stuff, like I learned that years ago. When you just do enough work, either sparring and hitting the bag's the best way. You hit the bag a lot. I've probably been on the bag for thousands, hundreds of thousands of rounds. I don't even know. And you play with it and you feel what's harder, what's quicker. You just keep working with it and fine tuning it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel when a punch lands, you could see the way the bag pops, you get an idea. So that's kind of the way these guys do it. And then Loma
he looked really good. He looked brand new. I mean, maybe it's the opponent, but people want to downplay it. Oh, Kambosos is this. You can't say Kambosos is this and that, and then give Devin Haney credit for beating him. He did beat Teofimo. It is what it is. Listen, he was undisputed at one point. But the way he took him out, bro, from the onslaught, from the beginning, when the bells rang, he was on him, and I was like, he's gonna stop him. He just looks really sharp. I was like, wow, Loma looks good, man. And I think he's like 36 at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is 36. Yeah.
He looked good. And I will say this: I'm happy Gervonta came out and said he wants him next. What's the biggest knock on Gervonta? Doesn't take the big guys. Doesn't fight the best guys in his division. And I'm happy he came out and said, no, you know what? I want to make that fight happen. Now, if people can say whatever, oh, but he's fighting him when he's older. Listen, that was a dominating performance. He didn't just decide to attempt to fight this man off of him looking old. He looks good. And I would give him all the credit in the world if he goes out and knocks out Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko's never been knocked out. He is who he is, and I don't think it's as easy as Kenny Atlas saying. I really don't. I don't believe it's an early knockout. I mean, how do you feel about it, the matchup between possibly Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis?
That's a tough one, man. I go with Tank over everybody, right? But
really? Okay,
I do. But by a small margin. I think Tank is just. It's tough though because Loma could conceivably just angle around him and box his socks off.
Yeah.
So it's tough. That's why we love this division so much because I could see Shakur beating Tank. I could see Tank beating Shakur. I could see T.O. beating both of them. I could see them I mean, it can go either way. It's so hard to tell.
Yeah. It's I think a lot of people base it's because of the power with Tank, obviously, because I feel like Tank, he just isn't active enough, bro. Like, I don't think when it comes to a certain level, you can't just wait for the big shot. These guys know it's coming. You know what I mean? He did against Santa Cruz, and a lot of people felt like Santa Cruz was beating him until he just walked him down in the corner and knocked him out. Santa Cruz is not Lomachenko. He's not. No. I'm sorry. Lomachenko is very active. He got the best footwork in boxing probably ever seen, or close to it.
Yeah.
And he's active. He throws punches from angles, and he's gonna catch. He's gonna catch him. So it's one of those situations. Is Tank gonna throw more punches in this fight? Or is he gonna do the same thing? And I don't think he could do that. So to me, I have a 50-50 too. I'm not gonna lie, because Tank is very, very smart. Like, he's a very intelligent fighter. He's not an idiot, you know. So it's gonna be a cerebral match more so than a power versus speed type match. So
right,
I don't know, man. It's a great fight. Like, this is one that I would definitely pay 80 for. He said if Tank beats Martin, he should fight T.O. I would like to see it, but I think T.O. is pretty much all in to fight. I think he wants to fight Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Ryan's gonna get. I mean, we don't know how long Ryan's gonna get suspended for, because he is gonna get suspended over this. He is gonna get suspended.
Most likely.
His results come back May 22nd, which is next week. He's preparing for it. I think he's doing damage control right now. And one of the similar situations was Amir Khan back in 2022. He was suspended for 2 years. So
2 years, really?
Yeah, Amir Khan was suspended for 2 years for testing for the same exact drug, Aspirin. Suspended for 2 years. So
really? He didn't fight for 2 years?
Yeah, it was after the Kell Brook fight. He tested right afterwards, the same situation for Aspirin, and was suspended. And I think he ended up retiring, if I'm not mistaken. He was suspended for 2 years. So there's already a gauge to what this suspension could be. So we may not see Ryan for a couple of years, you know. So I don't know, but the big difference, in my opinion, is what Ryan means money-wise, monetary-wise. I mean, to the sport. When Amir Khan lost, he was at the end of his career. Ryan Garcia is just coming off of making over $30 million. So we all know how honest boxing really is, right? So I think that's where it stands. But I mean, back to the people that are fighting now. I believe this could happen in September, man. I mean, Lomachenko and Tank. I think it's if that happens this year boxing may be. I mean, we got Tyson Fury this weekend versus Usyk, right? We had Garcia Haney already. We had Zhu and Fundora. We're gonna have we had Canelo Munguia, which was good. There's a possibility of Canelo and Crawford. I don't think it's gonna happen, but there's a possibility because the She came out. This has been a really good start to this year so far, you know. But I don't know, man. I mean, who you don't have a decisive. You don't know who's gonna win. Do you think it's gonna happen? Do you think Tank's gonna really do it?
Against Loma?
Yeah. I mean, he's running out of opponents right now.
Nah, he has Shakur, Loma. That's who he has. Those are good ones.
That's what I mean. Somebody said, "Hey, Matias, Matias is a fight on the 15th too in Puerto Rico, well, the same night as Javante, which sucks for me because I wanted to watch all those fights. But I mean, in that regard, man, I mean, to me, it's a toss up. I can't give you a winner at that point, to be honest.
In terms of who?
Of Javante and Loma, I just can't. Like, I can't necessarily agree with Kenny Allison early knockout. I just don't see that happening.
It's hard to tell. Javante can knock anybody out, but
no, 100%, bro. Like the one thing that I underrated when I first seen Javante was his ring IQ. His ring IQ is really crazy. Like he understands timing, when to turn it up. Like even when he fought Santa Cruz, like he was losing the fight to a lot of people, and he just walked them down to the corner, took a couple shots, and just ended his life right then and there. So I mean, I don't believe that he's gonna do that to Loma. So, it is what it is. But moving forward, we were just talking about the Ryan Garcia situation. Damn, I thought you knew about that, about the suspension of Amir Khan.
No.
Yeah, I mean, listen, May 22nd, we're gonna get the result. I don't think Ryan fights for over a year at this point, because I think just appealing it, fighting it, it's gonna be one. I don't think it's gonna be tough. I mean, how do you pull that with everything going? He's gonna have to fight this. He's gonna get suspended.
I never really took the failed drug tests to heart too much, unless it happens a lot. Everybody makes a mistake. Happens to a lot of fighters once.
Yeah.
Guys who have it repeatedly happening, that's a different story. So,
I mean, yeah, I don't think Amir Khan was a repeat offender. It's just the fact that people gotta understand. So Austrian is banned by the World Anti-Doping Commission. So you can't. It's not like you can go and be like, let me get some Austrian. It's not like that. You have to get it from the black market or a doctor, right? It's not like something you can accidentally ingest. And and then people are saying, well, it could have been from. It wasn't put on the label of a certain. Listen, that's a huge lawsuit if that's the case, and not to mention that they're going to test what he ingested throughout his training camp.
Well, so if it's not a huge lawsuit because supplements are not tested.
What I'm saying is, if it's a lawsuit, if he was to find it in one of the products, that he could turn around and say, "Look, this is what happened." But
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think that's a lawsuit because I'm not sure how that works, but I know that supplements are not tested in the U.S.
Yeah.
When you take any supplement from like the Vitamin Shop or GNC,
yeah,
they don't test what's in that. You have to believe the label. Now, maybe if there's something in there that the label doesn't say, maybe there's a lawsuit. I don't know how that works, but I know that it's happened. I think it's very likely that Ryan did it unintentionally. Well, he also could have did it on purpose, but.
Well, we're going to find out because he's going to have to turn over everything that he used May 22nd. And if none of that comes out to be in the stuff he took.
Even if he does that, there's going to be people who are going to say, let's say he hands over a bottle of magnesium. He goes, this is what I took. And they test it. Well, this magnesium has Austrian in it. People are going to be like, well, Ryan planted that there. Like Ryan obviously put the Austrian, gave him the bottle just so he can play it off. That's what people are going to say. It doesn't matter if they find it in a supplement. There's going to be a large amount of people who just aren't going to trust him. And the fact is,
listen,
we have no way of knowing. We'll never know if he did it on purpose or not. We just won't.
I just believe, listen, he's coming off an injury, right? He had a bad rib. He came off of, the fight, whatever. The one thing I was watching, did you watch the Victor Conti interview?
No.
So Victor Conti breaks it down. And he says, and what he was saying, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. But he was just breaking down how, he could have, taken it or whatnot. And he was saying, this is what I was going to say. He was saying that he had negative tests leading to the fight. He says testosterone and things of that nature, if you limit the amount, right, you can get away with it for a drug test because it's gonna show for abnormal levels of testosterone, right? He said the problem with Osterin is, and he goes, remember, Ryan Garcia was trying to cut weight. He was trying to cut weight. It sticks in your muscles, in your tissue, in your fatty tissue. So when you try to cut weight, that's when it could show. And he says that's why when he did cut weight, that's why it came up positive this time because of that. He says he could have been doing it the whole time and it wasn't going to show because he knew somebody was teaching him how to do it. But the risk of it is it sticks to your fatty tissue. And when you cut weight, so if you're not by that weight, that's when it shows. And the way he broke it down, I was like, it makes sense.
If you're cutting weight, it shows.
If you're cutting weight, it's able to you could see it more when you're trying to cut weight. Basically, you got to watch it. It's on TMZ. It's a really good interview. And Ryan has found his scapegoat in a sense, which is Victor Conte, which we all know had the controversy with Balco, right? And he's banned from every major sport except for what? Boxing, right? So I feel like it's gonna get really interesting in this situation. I just don't believe that, and I mean I do believe actually that they're gonna give him a slap on the wrist, and I think it's more so because of the economic impact that he makes in boxing, and that's why I believe that he's gonna beat it, And people are eating up his excuses. Oh, I shook hands with Donald Trump, and the next day I'm testing positive. Like people, like my man that be on the show, Quavo, Troy, he's like, man, they could have did that, and I'm like, bro, like it's just people are blaming the Haney's. The Haney's planted it. They're cool with Victor Conte. Like it's just a lot of stuff that I'm sitting there like, bro, like. The more likelihood of this situation is Ryan took it. It just is what it is. Listen, I was watching this documentary. This is from years ago. And it was like Bill Romanowski was speaking about it. Bill Romanowski was a famous linebacker that played for the Raiders, and actually the Broncos, and then the 49ers, right? And he said that he was on steroids his entire career. And what he would do is every time something would get outlawed, he would get something that they didn't know what it was, because you have to be able to understand what's in. You have to be able to detect it you have to know what it is in order to detect it. And a lot of athletes were doing it. So I'm not going to put it past Ryan. And the pressure of what he was seeing, what he felt after the Javante fight, people call him a quitter and all this stuff. I mean, I just, and I want to give Ryan the benefit of the doubt. I just find it hard to believe that it was planted, accidentally ingested. I still don't believe that, because of the way this product, you have to go purchase it. It's not something that's accidentally put in stuff.
Well, supplements could have it.
And that's what I'm saying. He's gonna have to turn over his supplements. Like, so if it doesn't pop up,
yeah. But if he turns over a supplement that has it in it, you're gonna believe him. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
you might, but there's another 20 people who won't. So really, what's the difference? That's why I think there should be a one strike rule. I think he should be allowed one time. Okay, fine. Unless there's clear proof that he did it on purpose. Other than that,
you know what it is though too. It's the way he defeated Devin Haney too. And you got to remember too, the commissions are going to feel a lot of pressure from Eddie Hearn, the Haney camp, because it's an investment that Eddie Hearn made. When he went and signed whatever deal he did with Devin Haney, it was for the future and more and earnings. And that shit just stopped. There's not a lot of people that want to see Devin Haney fight right now. And there was a lot of people that want to see him fight before this fight. So economically, it's going to hurt the zone, I guess, and Eddie Hearn, but there's going to be a lot of pressure in that situation. I want to see how it plays out next week. Next week's going to be a shit show. May 22nd is going to be a shit show in the boxing community. It's going to be.
It's going to be negative. It's going to be positive, most likely. But that's
why do you say it's going to be positive?
Because he had it in his system. Why wouldn't it not be?
Oh no! It's gonna be positive. No, I agree. I'm talking about in regards to the bloggers and how it's gonna be all over the media. It's
Oh, I
gonna be
mean, like,
everywhere.
yeah, but I mean, it's going to say it was in the system. It's not really about if he did it or not. It's about how to get in there. And to me, the most important thing is the intent. That to me, was he really trying to cheat or was it accidental? To me, that's all I care about
What do
personally,
you? So let me ask you: if it comes up positive next week,
which he
what do you?
probably will.
Which it will. It's gonna come up positive. What's gonna be? What's gonna be the determining factor that you believe that it was in there or not, or that it was purposely? He purposely did it or he didn't.
Do I believe it was if it was on purpose?
Yeah.
Um, I guess knowing being a fighter myself, being around all these guys, the majority of us are super competitive and want to win,
Yeah.
but we want to win. Like we want it to be something we did. We
Okay.
want to be like, yeah, I did that. Not I got an assist. Not somebody lobbed, I got a lob from. So I don't think most boxers want to cheat. I think most boxers want to win because they won.
Okay.
Which means I don't think that Ryan would have done it on purpose. Now, I know he's been acting crazy and all this, and can you tie that together with you could, maybe. Maybe he's just his steroid rage, he's crazy, he wants to win at all means, he doesn't care, he's an asshole. But I think it's more likely, especially the fact that it wasn't in his system at all up until the very end, or at least it wasn't caught. You're saying that it could have been in there. Here's the thing, too. I don't know enough about this. Is that possible? Is it a lot easier to hide until you cut weight, like you said?
He said if you take it in certain doses, so whenever you whenever you're doing cycles and stuff, what he was breaking down was as long as you're taking it and you're not passing certain levels of testosterone, you can fly under the radar with it and you won't get caught.
Right. But
when
then the
you
other
cut
question
weight, because it's so drastic, it ends up sticking into your fatty tissues, and that's how you come up with positive tests.
So the cutting the weight makes it stick into your fat tissue, and you can't flush it
Well,
out.
yeah.
Okay,
Much.
well, maybe. But also, the levels that were found, 0.6 or 6, and then 0.3.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough? Is that a lot? See, these are things I don't know. Meaning, like, is that a trace amount that won't even give you any real benefit? Which would infer accidental? Because if he's just taking a teeny bit, then what's the point if it's not? That's the main question. I wish I could ask Victor that. Like, so is this 0.35 the day of the fight? Is that enough to do anything? Is the 0.6 enough to even do anything?
He breaks all of that down. He really does. It's really crazy. Let me see if I can play some of it for you.
He went into the 0.6, the 6.
He went into all of that, bro. Like I was like,
I don't know if the interview came before or after that they came out with those numbers.
Yeah, I don't know when they did this interview, but I'm gonna show you from.
He talks about the actual numbers that were in his system.
Yeah, he talks about the numbers and everything. Hold on, let's see. Hold on, shit, wrong one. It's a really good when I seen it, I was like, oh, this don't look good for Ryan. Like I was like, this shit is crazy. I don't know exactly the place market, but let me see if I can find it here. You know how they break down the timestamps. Nope, they don't have it. But let me start it from here. And I mean, he pretty much breaks the entire shit down. Let me see right here. Let me play it on the screen for you. Boom, show the screen. This is the Victor Connie shit. And let me bring it from here. Let me start from here.
Ago, when VADA first started, I was one of the first trainers, or whatever you choose to call me, sports nutritionist, that was referring my fighters, world champions. The first one was Nonito Donaire. This was back in 2012, and he did 4 fights, won 3 of those. He was tested by VADA. He won the Boxing Writer Association Fighter of the Year. So I have been sending my fighters, obviously because of my background, okay, and things that happened back in 2003, almost a decade later in 2012, it was a good idea. And I became an outspoken anti-doping advocate in 2005. So I refer my fighters to VADA. That's the extent of my relationship. Did I introduce Margaret Goodman and Flip Homansky that run VADA to people like Dick Pound, who was the founding chairman of WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, and others that helped them be able to do the testing at WADA accredited labs? Yes, I made some introductions, but nothing more than that.
So you are not behind Ryan Garcia's positive.
I am not behind Ryan Garcia's positive drug tests. It's foolish for him to say that. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever to lend any credence to whatever he's saying.
Victor, would you consider taking any sort of action against him for saying the things that he has said, seemingly without any evidence?
No, I've been involved in a number of legal entanglements in the past, and it's just not worth it to me. I'm a big boy. He can say whatever he wants to say. I'm a true speaker, and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay, I'm glad we got that part of it out of the way. Now let's actually talk about this substance here, Ostarine. I'll be honest, I had never heard of it until last night. Tell us about Ostarine, what it could potentially do, why a fighter might want to take it, what sort of benefits it might provide you in a fight. Just break this down for me if you can.
Okay, Ostarine is something that is called a SARM, S-A-R-M. That stands for Selective Androgen Receptor Modulator. This classification of drugs are very similar to anabolic steroids. When they became first introduced, they were pitched as safer than steroids, but of course they promote protein synthesis or muscle growth as well as fat loss. They definitely enhance performance. And now some science has come out showing they may not be all that safe to take then. And the difference is they supposedly target only muscle and not heart and other organs in the body. But there are many cases, boxers, back in 2016, Lucien Boutet, a boxer tested positive for Ostarine. This isn't anything that hasn't happened before.
What kind of advantage? I mean, is it just a matter of it in enabling you to pack on more muscle, to be stronger? Or is that the advantage?
faster, stronger, better reaction time. It energizes you. It helps with recovery. It accelerates healing and tissue repair after workouts. Definitely enhances performance.
I've never understood this argument, but sometimes people will say, like, he couldn't have cheated because how could he be so stupid knowing he was going to have to take a drug test? So, I mean, is there a way to mask this? Is there a way for this to get out of your system? I mean, why, not necessarily saying Ryan did this, but why would a fighter, knowing he has to take a drug test, fail this test? I mean, how could that happen?
Let me explain this. It depends upon the dosage, the frequency, and the length of time that you have taken the drug. There are several cases where people have tested positive for Ostarine, then tested negative, then tested positive, then tested negative. Now, what happens is that some of these molecules can get lodged in adipose or fat tissue, and then when you do things like weight cut for a fight and you drop 10, 15, 20 pounds, okay, some of these molecules can be released and all of a sudden there's a positive drug test from exposure in the past. And you may have even had negative tests during training camp, but at some point in time, there was exposure. Now, there may not have been intent to cheat. We don't know this, but I keep hearing, it was in tiny concentrations. Let me explain something. This test for anabolic steroids, as well as the SARMs and Ostarine, is a qualitative test, not a quantitative test. They have something called a mass spectrogram fragmentation pattern. It's like a fingerprint. It either matches or it doesn't. So you're either pregnant or you're not. You're not just a tiny bit pregnant. Am I making sense? He had exposure. Strict liability rule states you are responsible for what's in your body, no matter how it got there. So he's going to have to go before a commission, the New York Commission, and explain and prove. The burden of proof is on him. He has to prove where he got exposed to this. Now he's going to have to look at all the supplements that he'd taken and other things. But if he's unable to prove that, then he's likely going to be suspended.
There's been some talk coming from the Garcia camp that he took ashwagandha root. Is that a
You see what I'm saying? He keeps going into them and breaking it down to really
What's he say
good
about
pieces.
this ashwagandha root?
What happened?
What's he say here about this? He just probably says no.
Yeah, I'll play right now. Play right now. Hold on.
Could that potentially be a source
Real
for
quick,
Oscar?
who's just asking
Okay,
questions?
let's hope for Ryan Garcia's sake.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's where
I'm
he
not sure. I
is
thought it was Max
completely wrong. And
I thought it was Max Kellerman when I first
Either
heard it.
Kellerman or it might be that Sean. It's on TMZ. Sean Zattel, maybe.
I think it sounds like Max Kellerman. I'm not gonna lie. It
does. All right, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Like I was like, what the hell? I think Max is with them. Hold on, I'm gonna press play right now. So we can watch.
You could take all the way up to 27 milligrams of testosterone per day and fly under the radar or the allowable limit. So guys can double or triple their levels by microdosing every day.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is when they do that and they got a source of testosterone from an underground lab, it may be contaminated with ostarine or nandrolone or other substances. Make sense? So it's more likely that, like I say, when you lie down with dogs, don't be surprised when you get up with fleas. So we'll find out. My guess is and prediction is we're going to hear a bunch of my dog ate my homework type of excuses. Let's hope for him that he can find a way to exonerate himself. Let's for just a moment talk about Devin Haney, my guy, and how horrible this is for him that he has to deal with this stuff. And until we get a reasonable explanation from Ryan, the burden of proof is on him to prove there was no intent to cheat. Because otherwise, I don't care if somebody snuck into your room and spiked your toothpaste, you're going to be responsible. The burden is on him. So I think there's going to be a very serious consequence. All these conspiracy theories are hogwash.
Two more for you, Victor. And this is amazing, by the way. Knowing what you know about ostarine, you've got two guys who are pretty even fighters. Could that potentially provide enough of an edge for Ryan to go in there and to beat Devin Haney?
Well, back to the issue of what we don't know,
right,
which is the dosage, the frequency, and the length of time he may have been taking it, with or intent without. Because these ostarine is an oral; it can come in a tablet form. Somebody around him could grind this up and put it in a shake, and he could drink it, and not even know. I mean, we don't know if there's intent or not. But like I say, it's now on him, and the burden of proof is on him 1,000%. To prove that where he got it, and once he can do that, then possibly he can get what they call a ruling of no fault or negligence. I don't believe that's going to be the outcome. My prediction is he's going to be suspended, and he should pay closer attention to other stuff that he's taking or other people that he's trusting, because he got exposed somehow. We do know that.
Last one, Ryan has made the point, hey, I failed the test on the 19th. Why did they allow me to fight if they knew that I had popped a dirty test? Explain, if you can, Victor, for me, the timing, the turnaround from when you provide a sample to when those results are back to the testers.
Okay, that is just simply a distraction technique. Okay, during training camp, let's say the 8 to 10 weeks that they were tested, the normal turnaround time when they collect the sample and they send it to the lab, which is in Utah, takes about 2 weeks. But on fight week, and especially weigh-in day and fight day, they check on the requisition form stat. That means turn that around as quickly as you possibly can. That takes at least 72 hours, if not longer, okay? So if they collected a sample on Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th, you wouldn't have data until Tuesday or Wednesday at earliest the next week. So nobody knew there was a positive test before the fight. Once again, Ryan Garcia is spewing a bunch of misinformation. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. And he's got these millions of people hanging on his every word, but what he's saying is simply not accurate.
All right, picture this.
That was, I'm not gonna lie, that was like when he broke it down.
Was super crazy. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Well, we just watched with my man Marco the Victor Conti content, where he's basically addressing a lot of what Ryan Garcia has been saying, and it's we got May 22nd coming. It's not looking very good in my opinion, for Ryan. And look, if you go by past suspensions, the one I do that comes to mind is Amir Khan, who was suspended for 2 years for testing positive. Now, I don't know if they're going to go that severe because at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia happens to be the cash cow or one of the cash cows or one of the few cash cows that are in boxing today. So to me, I don't know. I really don't know, but it's gonna be a major blow to boxing regardless because the people that are going to say that boxing is corrupt, they're allowing cheaters, and then you got the other side of it where you're going to say, where boxing is going to lose a huge star for a certain amount of time. So it's one of those situations, man, that I don't know what the commission is going to do. I mean, and we're going to see how corrupt boxing actually is coming up. That's one thing that we're going to find out. If Ryan Garcia gets a slap on the wrist, it's because of the amount of money that he brings in as a product, as a brand, as a whatever. Listen, I'm a huge Canelo Alvarez fan. He tested positive for I forgot what, for small traces of some steroid or whatever. That's a fact. I didn't make it up. He tested positive twice, right? I don't even think Canelo got suspended. Why? Canelo financially brings in a shitload of money to boxing. So I feel like Ryan's kind of in that place. And people are going to, and this is the difference. Canelo didn't really speak on this, right? He kind of just weathered the storm, let people say what they say, and never addressed it, right? Ryan is literally making this into a circus. So it's a different, it's more of a spectacle when it comes to Ryan Garcia. So it's going to be spoken about a lot more than when Canelo tested. And I think Oscar Valdez tested as well. He didn't say nothing. He let it weather and dealt with it, right? So to me, the fact that Ryan has made this into a public spectacle can work against him because now you put the commissions back up against the wall. So to me, I mean, it's all speculatory, of course, but the fact that this has become the topic of conversation in boxing, and May 22nd is going to be a huge day, Ryan could be facing 2 years or better in a suspension. I mean, it's unfortunate, Marco. I mean, what do you think about watching Victor Conte speak?
I don't know. He kind of broke some stuff down I didn't realize, but so there's a lot of ways to mask it. He's saying there's a lot of ways to take it. So I mean,
the thing that got me was when you weight cut, it sticks in your fatty tissue, and that's what
he's saying that could be from past exposure. So he could have been taking it a long time ago, or no. Yeah, I didn't get that. How long does it stay in your system?
That's the thing. We don't know. And it's another thing. Even let's say if it was 6 months ago, he still was taking it.
Yeah.
So it's a banned substance. So whether it was a year ago, 6 months ago, but what we do know is Ryan excuse me, he looked big. You know what I mean? We've seen the result of the fight, which I believe he would have beaten Haney anyway, to be honest with you. But the way he beat Haney, I don't think anyone's seen it. If you watch the pre-fight talks, nobody had Ryan Garcia winning. And nobody had Ryan Garcia winning in this fashion as well. So I think people have to really think about this post pre-fight status,
Right.
And nobody has done this to Devin Haney. And when I watched Haney, he looked broken when I seen him. He was like, I've never been dominated. I'm a this type of fighter. And so and listen, Bill Haney is not going to go down quiet. Him and Eddie Hearn are going to try to make this as bad as possible for Ryan Garcia. To save Devin Haney's career and give an excuse as to why he looked the way he looked in that fight. And he's tied to money that they've already put out. Listen, This is why I say this is going to be the biggest scandal in boxing in years. And it's because Bill Haney's not going to shut up about it. Ryan Garcia's not going to shut up about it. They're going to be looking for sanctions and suspensions. This is going to play out in the court of the public opinion. And that's what both sides are going to do. And I think that's what's going to lead to possibly, and again, that's why there's going to be a lot of pressure on these and the New York State Athletic Commission. It's going to be a lot of pressure. If they don't make a call that makes it look fair, then it's going to look like Ryan makes a lot of money. That's all they care about.
Right.
And and this is where Ryan maybe messed up because he made this such a public spectacle. You know? So, and I don't know. I don't know how it goes universally in regards to can he fight in another country, or can he just be suspended at New York State? You can't fight in New York. Can he fight in Nevada? I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm not 100% sure how it works. I mean, you might know Marco a little better than that. I mean, how does it work? You don't know either?
I don't know. I think it's a. I don't know. It should be a worldwide suspension, but
I remember somebody
with boxing. There's no league, so it's all state by state.
A few years ago, somebody was suspended, and they were talking about fighting in Mexico or some other country in order to fight because they couldn't get sanctioned in the States. So I don't know if there's some type of a unity in the States, but Ryan Garcia is definitely going to make this into a huge conspiracy thing. And
guess what? This motherfucker could fight an exhibition and earn millions.
That is a great point, Marco. That is a great point.
He should. Fuck it.
Because, I mean, should he? Should that be allowed?
Yes, because I don't think there's any way we'll be able to prove that he did it on purpose. If we could prove they did on purpose,
yeah.
But again, it's exhibition. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a fine line. And as long as the other person is well aware, like, look, now people know, look, this guy might be on steroids. You want to fight him, that's on you.
Let me ask you, you said that you believe most fighters want to win on their own, right? Now, this is I get what you're saying, but this is a little different. Once you reach a certain level in boxing, which most people don't, especially the financial status, there's a lot of pressure. We're looking at how Jamal is handling at this point. He is fucking losing his mind. He broke down his last fight. After the fight, his brother wasn't even there. Now he gets called for DWI or DUI. Gets the belt stripped of him. There's a lot of pressure to get to this money, and it's not very frequent that a lot of boxers get to this type of money. So to me, it's like I watched the guy. He works a 9 to 5. Most of these guys work 9 to 5s and then train.
Who works a 9 to 5?
Bro, I've spoken to numerous boxers.
Oh, I thought you meant a specific person.
Oh no. But there's a lot of guys that actually work. There's not a lot of guys that get these big type of money fights.
So even the biggest referees in the world all have real full-time jobs. They make nothing.
Exactly. And that's the point. Like, I feel like sometimes life is what catches you. Like, yo, I need a competitive edge. I need to be better than this guy. And so I wouldn't outlaw it. I would not say that. And I feel like there's more pressure because it's not the NFL. It's not like the NFL draft that happened in April 25th. You get drafted, you get a few $100,000. The majority of boxers get nothing. Really. They don't. Like, it's one of those situations. They say the average salary of a boxer is $30,000, and that's not even before trainers and paying fees and all that shit. So to me, I think, and again, boxing is the only sport where people are dying frequently. They're dying. We just had somebody die a month ago. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's a tough situation. If you're a boxer, if you're a fan, I mean, but I don't know, man. I feel like the New York State Athletic Commission, they're under pressure to make a huge decision at this point. But it could affect their bottom line, which is money. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I have no clue. Quick, I'm gonna ask one more topic and then I'm gonna let you go because it's a pretty deep topic. What you're speaking about. I think we're not gonna be done talking about this for a while. Shakur Stevenson leaving Top Rank, dissing Bob Arum. Do you think it's the right decision? What do you think he ends up doing?
Like I told you, man, you're asking the wrong person. I don't know shit about that. I don't care, really. It's like whatever. As long as he'll be able to fight wherever he goes. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing that I hate. Like if you're not with a PBC, you're not them. It's so many loopholes to make or obstacles to make big fights happen. And I think Top Rank has been the biggest obstacle, according to Bud Crawford, for him to get the big fights. And now he's trying to chase Canelo at 37 years old. I get it. A lot of people knock Bud Crawford for that, for not having the big fights, the big names. I think Shakur is best to sign a 1-fight, 2-fight type of situation. You know what I mean? Because he's maybe it'll put him in position to fight guys like Matisse. So I think it's best for him, but he does have to get a little more exciting for people to really tune into him because people still aren't tuning into him.
Yeah.
But I think it's the right decision for Shakur, to be honest. I just don't like the way he's going out and dissing guys like Bob Arum. Listen, Bob Arum made you rich. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He made you rich. I think you got to show some type of respect in that situation. And you got to take some of the fault. You got to take some of the blame because you have not been the most exciting fighter. Gervonta has been exciting. He's knocked people out. Shakur has not been. He's great. He may be the most talented boxer alive right now. He is just not an exciting product to sell. And I think he needs to take that. He needs to take that and be accountable for that, And whether he goes to PBC, wherever he ends up going, he has to start being more exciting and knocking people out, or at least putting on performances where he's offensively appealing. So, that's the only advice I can really give Shakur. But I do believe him signing 1-fight, 2-fight deals may be the best situation for him right now.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to change his fighting style, but
hope. As a boxer, do you think he can?
No, that's how he fights, and he's successful doing it.
He is. But you know what success is measured in boxing, especially with a lot of these kids? It's money.
Mm-hmm.
It's money. And boxing is the sexiest way to get money. Gervonta Davis is not beating a lot of. I don't think he's beating any champions, or maybe a couple, and he's making a shitload of money. Why? Because chicks love the knockout.
Well, chicks, everybody.
Yeah, what I'm just saying. You know how they say chicks love the long ball? I didn't want to mess. Why do you mess up my stuff?
I didn't know what you meant. I'm sorry.
I was gonna make that into a
t-shirt. I never heard that long ball thing.
You only follow boxing?
Boxing and basketball.
It's like a dunk. It's like the alley-oop.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Sorry.
You're a Knicks fan, obviously, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But Marco, I always love having these conversations with you, man. I know you're a busy guy. You're a viral blogger. I'm trying to get to you. The Ryan Garcia of blogging. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on.
I'm trying.
All I need you to get a little more muscle, a little pushback. I seen the vintage boxing footage too, man. You had a full head of nice hair, man. That was nice.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It sucks when you lose your hair, right? It's just like, damn it.
To my defense, I started keeping it low before I was losing it. So It was an easy train. Yeah, I kept it low. I buzzed it. I was like,
you know how I found out?
No.
The worst way. So I go to the barbershop. I ended up using another guy. So I tell him, look, just keep it low. Give me a season, And he's cutting my hair. And he stops in the middle of the haircut. And he says, hey, buddy, I'm going to finish your haircut. But I suggest you just shave your head. It's not going to grow back. It's not going to help. You're still going to look bald. And I was sat there and I respected him. And I was like, you bastard. And he just, you know what? After that, I started getting baldies. That's it. Broke my heart. It sucks to find out, man. You don't look that bad. You look good, though. You look good, boy guy. You know what I mean?
All of us look good. We can go to Turkey and take care of it.
Turkey? Put the hair plugs?
Yeah.
Yo, I have a friend. This is hilarious.
I thought about doing the micropigmentation.
That's what he did.
I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, it looks no. I think if you get it done right, it looks real.
Marco, if you do that, I'll kill you. You're
I'm
a
not
good-looking guy, man.
I'm not doing it, but I thought about it because the key is you got to make, like, for me, I'm white, so I can't get a straight like a Puerto Rican hairline because that'll look goofy on me.
Hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? I got to get like the where it comes up and goes down a little like this. I thought about it, but then I was like, I would laugh at somebody who had that. So why would I do that? You know what I mean?
No, I have a friend. I don't want to say he's a battle rapper. He did it, right? And I
A lot
remember
of dudes do it, and you can't tell.
I could tell. Because
Well-
when it grows in, it's gonna grow in on one side. You gotta literally keep shaving your head.
Well, no, not one side, right? That's my joke. I'm like, if I ever fall into a coma, this shit's gonna be all, and then this will be. So, but we shave our heads anyway. So,
Yeah,
like, why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, no, it's bad. When you lose your hair, it's bad, man. I get jealous when I see guys with great hair. I'm like, yeah, man.
Oh, me too.
But
But I never
has
had great hair. Like, I never had that like straight hairline. I had the white boy hairline, so it was
Yeah,
always high.
Listen, I look at De La Hoya. I'm like, this fucking guy got great hair. You see that full head of hair De La Hoya has? It's amazing. What is he?
Mayweather got the hair plugs.
Yo, did you see when Gervonta told him?
He got it on his beard too. I think Mayweather.
No fucking way.
It looks like his beard's a lot fuller.
He looks older with the hair, which is ridiculous. I think
He looks homeless almost, like he's just sitting there like letting it grow, and just, like a homeless dude doesn't care and lets it grow.
This is when I knew Gervonta did not care for Mayweather when he said, "You're as fake as the hair on your head," and I was like, "Yo, did he just tweet that?" I said, "Gervonta is fucking crazy, bro."
Yeah,
but I was like, why?
Like for me, I could probably get it and nobody would notice because I'm not famous. But when you're like Floyd and you've been in the public eye since you're a kid, they saw you go bald.
Bro, Floyd, LeBron James, Deion Sanders.
Tracy McGrady got it done too.
Oh, Tracy got it?
Yeah, he went to Turkey. But he was open. He went to Turkey and did it.
Bro, when I found out Deion Sanders had it, right? So I have my buddy plays in the NFL, right? And, he has a really big head. So we're watching the Packer game in his crib. He has like a fucking theater that's huge. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my boy and I turned to him. I said, "Gerald, do you notice something different about Deion?" He's like, "When the fuck did he get hair?" And I'm crying because it looked crazy. Just who cares? Just wear your age, man. Like,
you know what? I get it though. I'm not gonna do it, but I went through that. When you're in your 40s, sometimes you get hit with that midlife crisis shit.
yeah.
And you're just like, fuck.
My dad bought a motorcycle. Me, I just got a young hot chick and just married her. You know what I mean?
Got a young hot chicken married. What, your wife's a lot younger than you?
My wife's 30. Yeah, she just turned 30.
What are you?
42. 43 now. Yeah.
It's not that big of a difference.
No, it's not. It's not, but I don't know. You know what? Like me, the hair, I don't know. Some guys get a motorcycle.
I never cared about the hair up until 2 years ago. Just randomly, I remember started like it hit me, and then I find myself watching.
They want me to blow up. Who's the one that got hair plugs? That's a battle rap. I'm not gonna do it.
Is it a big
handful of guys?
Blind Fury?
No. I've never even met Blind Fury. To be honest, he's a he didn't get hair plugs. He got the what's it called? The tattoo thing. What's it called?
Micropigmentation.
Yes, micropigmentation. That's what he got. It wasn't hair plugs. It was micropigmentation.
That lasts about 4. I went and got a consultation. I remember being like, and what I didn't like was, see, I keep mine. There's a little bit of hair, right? I don't buzz it. Like you buzz yours bald, right, to the skin. Yeah, see, I don't do that. So, but if I get the micropigmentation, I have to buzz it as close as you buzz yours, and I kind of didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, my shit is like graceful. Like I have hair here. It's slowly, gracefully piecing out.
You look like a young Republican. I like it. It looks good on you, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just one of those guys. Where your age, man? Who cares? But on that note, man, I will let you go, bro. I'm about to. I gotta go piss and walk the dog. But if you're free tomorrow, man, let's chop it up. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. I think Usyk fights this weekend, right?
Yeah, sure the fuck does. Usyk and Fury. I'm excited for that. I might do a live.
Yeah, yo. Can I get on your live? Can I bless your fans?
Yeah, well, I go live, jump in the room, and I've been putting the link in now so people could come in and join. So yeah.
I want to be treated special, man. I look at you as a special guy when I come. I like
appreciate you. Yeah. When I'm live, you're always welcome. Pop in. I was doing it just solo for a while, but now I'm
No, it's good. It's a good live, man. I like it. I enjoy it. I watch all your stuff, man. Your breakdowns. So
you know, there's a lot of energy sometimes when you're just by yourself talking for 2 hours. Which wears you out.
Yeah, it definitely does. But let's do it. I'm down to do it on Saturday. Just let me know.
All right, cool.
All right, man. I'm out of here. I got to piss so bad. My man Marco, I'm going to holler at you. We
Peace
out
out.
of here.